How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Reagan Harold. That is Carly Fitzer. And Carly, we're here to talk a little AUSL, a little bit of pro softball. We'll mix in a little bit of NAI softball talk in between, talking about the opening series of the AUSL, big transfer for LSUA, and not a whole lot in the coaching world to talk about. Um, oh God, hold on. Let's restart. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in into the first summer episode, a little summer episode. We told y'all we were going to bring the off-season content, and we are doing it this year. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the AUSL that just kicked off. Carly, how cool is it to watch a little pro softball during the summer?
You know, it's pretty neat. It's been something we haven't seen ever. So it's fun watching all those players that I used to look up to growing up.
Yeah, not at this level. I mean, there's been WPF, AU, which kind
Yeah.
of the athletes on. There's been some, but not to this level. Not with these
Yeah. Not as
players.
advertised.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
the players.
yeah, I mean, just elite stuff, a lot of fun. We're gonna talk about it. Volts electrify the Blaze. They take two or three. Bandits. They take two or three from the Talons. The rubber matchup was all Bandits last night to wrap up the first season series in the inaugural AUSL season. A little bit of NAI softball news, which we'll be doing throughout the summer. I mean, as far as the coaching changes and what's happening in the transfer portal, recruiting wise, and everything. Obviously, two jobs still open: Weber International, Indiana Wesleyan, two spots that have not been filled yet. But Carly, probably the biggest transfer that we're going to see in the NAI softball world this summer is Laney Bailey from Southeastern Louisiana, D1 transfer heading in to LSUA. Had a huge 2025 with a 1.66 ERA. She had six and two-thirds shutout innings against LSU in the Baton Rouge Regional. I said, hey, we'll just go to the sister school there in
Yeah.
Alexandria. Obviously Haley Primrose graduating from LSUA, but Coach Trent Partridge brings pretty much his entire lineup back. So bringing in a pretty good Division I arm like Laney Bailey. Do you think that's going to help LSUA take that next step and break through to Columbus next year?
Yeah. I I mean they were oh so close this year, and I think just bringing that extra experience and extra talent, bringing back that lineup is huge.
Yeah, and you said the experience. They now know what it's like to be the hunted, not the hunter. Remember, 2 years
Yeah.
ago they took two games from Our Lady of the Lake, two of their only three losses en route to their World Series. But the Generals took two or three in the conference tournament, and now this past year, they kind of learned how to be a winner, have that target on your back, and now they get to have one of the best pitchers in the country coming in next year. But Carly, let's take a look at it. Volts, they take two or three from the Blaze. The second game ever in the AUSL, first game for the Volts and the Blaze. It was a banger, Carly. It goes into extra innings. Daniel Gibson's RBI double scored Bailey Klinger to give the Blaze a 1-0 lead early, but Amanda Lorenz would lead off the top of the third with a double, and Jesse Warren would bring her home. Pitchers settled in really nicely after that, not allowing any runs until we got into extra innings, where Rachel Garcia, who we'll talk a little bit about her and her performance here in just a second, but Garcia would move Danica Coffey to third base, and then Michaela Edenfield. How about the Florida State rookie? First pro hit coming up in the top of the eighth with a little go-ahead single up the middle, give a 2-1 lead. But Carly, the big one, Mackenzie Clark, the former Clemson Tiger. How about the ACC, the Atlantic Coastal Conference, stepping up for the Bolts in their first game? Mackenzie Clark, what a bomb, and took her time rounding the bases, 5-1 win. But Carly, player of the game in this one had to be Rachel Garcia, former UCLA Bruin, dominated in the circle, 129 pitches, 84 of those strikes, just dominating the strike zone. She also held the Blaze 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Carly, if you light up the strike zone and you hold an opponent to 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, pretty good chance you're gonna win some ball games.
Yeah, pretty sure we saw some of that in our World Series, so
Yeah, we did.
we know a thing or two.
Yeah.
But game two for the Volts, they would take it 10-3. They broke a 1-all tie by erupting for 9 runs over three inning span to claim a 10-1 lead that they would not let up. The squad scored 3 times in the fourth, added 2 more in the fifth, and then in the sixth, they tacked on a whopping 4 runs to really put this one out of the reach. The Volts set a pair of league single game highs with their 10 runs and 15 um, hits that put them at 15 runs off 24 hits in their first 2 games of the season, which is that should help you win some games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just seeing it off rip for the Volts, some dominant pitching in the wins in game one. The bats got hot in game two, paired with some really good pitching. Carly, you picked the Volts as your team to bring home the title, feeling pretty confident after those two
I'm
games.
feeling good. I'm feeling good. I need to know if they sell like some merch. I gotta get me a
Oh, they
jersey.
do. Oh yeah, AUSL. They've got some sick merch. They do. I
I'm
was
gonna get me
going
a
through
Volts
there.
jersey.
Yeah, I was going through there the other day. I was like, oh, I could mess up some money right here down. They've got some sick ones. They've got little short sleeve hoodies. I'm thinking about ordering one of those. But the thing is, like, all the logos are so good. Like, I love
They are,
the
dude.
teams. I'm kind of like, I know like you're picking the Volts. I'm kind of rocking with the Talons a little bit this year. I really want to wait until next year. I want to see like who's going to be in kind of like the Florida, Georgia area
Hmm.
team, and then probably really rock with one there. But we'll see. But hey, it wasn't it wasn't all vibe or all vibe. Geez, it wasn't all Volts in this series. I was thinking about the Florida vibe there. Because the Blaze in game three, they would take one 3-1. It was the battle of rookies in the circle. It did not disappoint. Sam Landry and Emma Lemley trading donuts in the first 2 frames in their professional debuts before Tiara Jennings would smoke one out in the top of the third to give the Volts 1-0 lead and had the fans ready to break out the brooms. After falling behind 1-0 in the third, Blaze would answer with a 2-run bottom of the fourth inning. Aubrey Leach would even the score, and then Daniel Gibson wore in reach on an error, followed by Bailey Klinger single, and Bailey Klinger hit in all 3 games, and Asia Ertz would provide a big insurance run in the sixth inning. Emma Lemley, her professional debut, great stuff from her. 5 innings, 2 strikeouts, only gave up 3 hits, then handed the ball over to the vet, Kalani Ricketts. 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit. Really solid stuff. If you're the Blaze, you got to love what you're seeing from a rookie pitcher out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, yeah. That's huge to come in and do that.
But Carly, I was the team I picked to win it here in the 2025 season were the Talons, but however, it was the Bandits coming in. Have you seen the Bandits little pregame their call out?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's
Is
pretty
it
sick.
fire?
It's sick. So all 4 teams have pretty sick like walkouts and stuff, but like the Bandits have like the big pillars with smoke coming out, and then it's like saloon doors. They kick it down. They do a little celebration.
That's so sick.
It's
Man,
awesome.
I should have picked the Bandits.
Well,
Just for
the Bandits did take two or three, so pretty
they
good
did.
stuff. But Carly, first game in the AUSL, it was elite.
Yeah, the Bandits earned the first win in Athletes Unlimited Softball League history. 3-1 win over the Talons in front of a sold out crowd at Parkway Bank Sports Complex on Saturday. Pretty awesome to be selling out that first game of league history. So,
6 sellouts. You know that?
yeah,
6 sellouts. I mean,
yeah.
that's awesome. We'll talk about that. Go ahead. But yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the Bandits had their leadoff hitter reach base in 4 of 6 innings, in addition to going 8 for 16 in advancement opportunities. One of the biggest moments of the game was when infielder Aaron Koffel plated a pair of runs down 1-0 in the bottom of the third. She plated those with a triple to right center. Um, The Bandits scored two, as we see, two of their three runs with two outs. Um, and then Alfredo Morgan Zirkle registered the first hit in AUSL history when she led off the first inning with a double to left center field. And then rookie utility player Corey McMillan was the lone Bandits player to collect multiple hits. She goes 2 for 3 with a pair of singles.
Yeah, Morgan Circle first hit. She had another first that we'll talk about here in just a second. But Carly, going back to that, 6 games, 6 sellouts for AUSL up in Illinois and in Kansas. I mean, this seems like this league, if that's the representation it's going to get, just in person. Don't know what the broadcasts look like as far as how many views it brought in, but Carly, seeing 6 sellouts in the first two series, what does that tell you about the future of this league?
Well, and even just seeing what it's doing for the fans, like on Twitter, like just seeing the people there waiting in line for autographs and all the excited little girls that have been needing something like this to look up to. I mean, it's so cool to know that the sport is growing like that, and especially in a professional capacity.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to grow throughout the summer. I think you're going to see bigger crowds, more, on the TV side as far as viewership as we get later into the summer. Obviously, the league's competing with the NBA Finals and NHL Stanley Cup right now as far as ratings. But I think when we get into July, and then the main thing being on is like NASCAR and MLB. I think this is going to be the premier sport that you see, and you kind of see that in the TV rights deal they have. You're going to see more games on ESPNU, ESPN2, and on MLB Network. But Carly, the Talons would pick up their first win in game two, 6-3. It was a hit parade. All 9 batters in the starting lineup recorded a hit. How about this two-out approach for the Talons, Carly? 9 for 16 with 2 outs, all 6 runs coming with 2 outs. You were a pretty good 2 out hitter, 2 strike hitter throughout your career at Midland. Talk about how your approach would change with 2 out, trying to just get runners in at that point.
Yeah, two outs. I mean, you're shortening your swing. You're looking for, especially with two strikes. I mean, anything remotely close. And you're not focusing on trying to put the ball out of reach of someone out there in the field. You're just trying to put literally bat to ball.
Well, they were certainly able to put bat to ball, both teams early on against rookie pitchers. Devin Netz for the Bandits out of Arizona, Lauren Durkowski out of Michigan for the Talons. Not so much of a warm welcome. The right side of the infield got the party started for the Talons early. Second baseman Ali Aguilar and first baseman Tori Valdez ignited the Talons offense with back-to-back jacks in the first inning. Like, hey, welcome to the show, Devin. Here's 2 bombs. But mentioned Morgan Zirkle. She had a couple of firsts this weekend. How about the first inside the Parker for the AUSL, the speedy former Marshall Thundering Herd, Morgan Zirkle with the inside the park home run. Talons would scratch 2 more on the board in the third with back-to-back knocks from Caroline Jacobson and Bree Ellis, extending the lead to 4-1. And then Raylan Chafin, Mississippi State rookie, earned the first win of her professional career coming out of the bullpen. 3 scoreless innings and just allowed 1 hit on 2 strikeouts. And Montana Fouts would step in for the save, evening the series at 1-1. But Carly, last night, the Bandits, it was all Bandits.
It was all Bandits. I mean, they're playing in front of a sellout crowd for the third consecutive game, 6 of this whole series between the 4 teams. But the Bandits would take an early 1-0 lead in the first, courtesy of a Bubba Nichols Camarena solo shot. They added 3 more runs in the second. And then really secured their victory with a 4-run outburst in the fifth inning. For the Bandits, 8 hits went for extra bases in Tuesday's victory. They've collected a league best 12 extra base hits through their first 3 outings this season, and exceptionally 9 in the final 2 games of the series. Lexi Kilf
Guilfoyle.
Kilfoyle.
There you go.
Yeah, it's early.
It is.
Uh, she upped her record to 2-0 after retiring all three batters that she faced in the fifth inning. We did get to see pitcher Odyssey Alexander throw two perfect innings in her first start of the season. The former UCLA product, Bubba Nichols Camarena, uh, other than her home run, drew two walks and closed the series by reaching base safely in four of her final plate appearances. We got to see Ricky Devon Nets have her first multi-hit game of her professional career. She went 2 for 3 in the Bandits win. She doubled to center field in the second inning and then added an infield single in the third frame. And catcher Jordan Roberts belted her first home run of the season down the left field line in the second inning in what would give the Bandits their 4-0 advantage en route to their 5 inning win.
We're probably looking ahead at the next series. Team switch up. It'll be the Volts taking on the Bandits down in Sulphur, Louisiana. First game tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. First pitch on ESPN2. Then they'll play Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern on MLB.com, and then wrap up Saturday on MLB Network. And then the Talons taking on the Blaze. Both of those two teams have a couple days off. No game Thursday for the Talons and Blaze, but then they play Friday, 6:30 Eastern in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm up in Tennessee right now. Just the overlap did not quite work, unfortunately. I wish that just take a couple extra days. Can't do it. Got to head back home. But Talons take on the Blaze, MLB.com, Friday, 6:30, Saturday, high noon, first pitch Saturday on ESPNU, and then they wrap up Sunday on MLB.com at 2 p.m. at John Frost Stadium. Carly, this league it's epic. It is the future of softball. But I got a question for you. Put you on the spot. These four teams right now, where do you think that these four? I could see obviously there's going to be expansion next year. We're going to see more teams and in the locations, but these four teams right now, where do you feel like they're going to end up? There's one I feel like it is a little bit more sure. Think about Chicago Bandits, former professional team.
Yeah.
They have the Chicago colors. I think it makes sense for the Bandits to be in Chicago. Where do you think would be a good spot for the other three teams?
Definitely somewhere more Midwest than Chicago. Like, I don't know, Oklahoma seems to be a pretty
Yeah.
big softball area. I would say in somewhere like that or like Kansas City. Um,
Oh,
and
I
then
think
probably
Kansas City would embrace them well.
I think so. Kansas City is a really good sports city.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that all their sports teams are really great, but they have a lot of sports, from like soccer to, everything else.
I feel like you got to put one in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, you see it's the game's growing a ton up there. Looking at, you remember watching the Oregon Liberty Super Regional and what it looked like. Gosh, I would probably. I, it's interesting because you think about what about the other professional teams like the Florida Vibe, Oklahoma City Spark? Are they going to be joining this league or no? What does that look? I mean, obviously, if the Spark end up joining the league, that makes sense. And then you move, I don't know, maybe the Talons to Oklahoma. I don't know why the Talons just feel like a Southeast team to me. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I don't know why, but I feel like Chattanooga or Atlanta.
I love Chattanooga. I could
I
see
think
Atlanta.
Chattanooga would work. I think Chattanooga would work or Nashville. I think Nashville would be a good
Oh,
spot. I think
yeah.
Nashville would be a good spot for them. Okay, so
The
let's make
Tennessee Talons.
oh, there it is. There it is. All right, there we go. All right, so Talons to Tennessee, Bandits to Chicago, Blaze. I feel like the Blaze is a good Midwest name.
Yeah.
Good mid, so maybe Kansas City for them or Oklahoma
Yeah.
City, something like that. Okay. What about the Volts? Move them up to, I don't
That's
know.
got to be the team that's like a little out west.
Yeah, a little out west. I mean, it's
What about
this.
Vegas?
Oh, think a softball team would do well in Vegas? I mean, other sports have.
Yeah,
Other
that
sports
seems to be a
have.
good spot.
Why not? Volts, the Vegas Volts. There you
Come
go.
on now.
There you go. You got it. Well, all right, Carly. I'll do it a little bit shorter. No, it's easier talking
This
about
is,
four
yeah.
teams than 140 teams. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it, folks. We'll be back. Well, I think this is just kind of how we're going to do it. It's kind of as you have the conclusion of each series, we'll just come on here and talk about the series. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right. We all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.